The AI conversation keeps getting weirder and creepier. And honestly, I feel like there's just so much going on. AI is such an amazing invention, and I think humanity has invented and created so many mind blowing tools. We have airplanes, we have. Do you know how crazy it is that something can carry hundreds of people, thousands of miles across oceans, across seas? We have the internet, we have telephones, we have electricity, we have antibiotics. These are insane, they are insane inventions. Every single one of them changed the world in ways that the people couldn't have imagined before they existed. But I think what makes the whole AI conversation different, at least for me, is that there's a consistent effort to position it as a replacement for or is superior to human intelligence. Human intelligence is the highlight of this world, and every invention, whether we like it or not, is always for humans at the end of the day. We are the point of inventions. Inventions are nothing without us. A car does not drive itself to the grocery store. A telescope does not gaze at the stars for its own curiosity. An airplane doesn't fly itself to vacation. Every invention exists to extend human ability. So it never made sense to me that it is being marketed. AI is being marketed or positioned as something like, will AI replace? I was watching the Sam Altman interview. I think it was at a summit, and I'm quoting the guy directly here. He said, and I quote, "We see a future where intelligence is a utility, like electricity or water, and people buy it from us on a meter." I was watching the video and I'm like, hey, what the hell is this man talking about? And honestly, I know it sounds like something you would just dismiss, like, oh, this guy is just crazy. But it's not some futuristic prediction at this point. It is already happening. It's starting. The way the products are being marketed, the way we talk about AI, the language we use around it, you know, AI hallucinated. That's a human word. Hallucination implies consciousness. We say it thinks, does not think, it processes. And we keep giving it human qualities in our language because the companies building it benefit from you believing that it is more human than it is. There is a massive economic incentive for you to believe that you cannot function without AI. Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Meta, they are all spending a combined $725 billion on AI infrastructure this year. And for that investment to pay off, they need us to use AI. And they don't need us to use it a few times. They need us to use it constantly for everything, every part of our lives. It needs to become an essential thing, like electricity, like water, because that's the only way these investments are going to pay off. Whenever I see people make posts about AI is going to replace developers, it's going to replace writers, it's making human intelligence obsolete. I'm like, what are people thinking? Before you make that post, sit down and ask yourself, who is benefiting from me believing this? Because it's not you, it's not normal people that are benefiting. It's the company selling the products, the subscriptions. Tech layoffs are everywhere. 120,000, I think, laid off in 2026. Meta is spending 5 times their entire human payroll on AI infrastructure. AI replacing people is what they are using to justify firing people. We fire people, we take the money meant for people and spend it on AI. And this is even what I fear the most, that I even think is most dangerous. It's not that AI will replace human intelligence, it's that we will stop developing and believing in our human intelligence because we will believe that AI has it covered. There's this concept I found I was reading about online the other day, the skilling. It is what happens when a process that used to require human skill becomes automated, and over time, the humans involved lose the ability to do it themselves. I mean, think about it in small places. How many phone numbers do I know by heart? I used to know a lot, but now I don't care because my phone stores them. I didn't lose the ability to memorize numbers. I just stopped because a tool does it for me. Now, apply that to more significant skills. If a developer uses AI to write their code for years, what happens to the ability to debug, to reason about architecture, to understand why something works or just, and not just that it works? If a student constantly uses AI to write every essay, what happens to their ability to structure an argument, to think critically, to form an original perspective? Once you've de-skilled, you become dependent on the tool. Now you have to pay. Now intelligence really does becomes a utility that we have to buy. And if they can market it to us, people that remember a pre-AI world, who know from experience that these things can be done without AI, imagine how easy it will be to convince a generation that never experienced the world without AI. For them, it won't even be a question. It will just be how things are done. Of course, you need your subscription to code. Of course, you need your token to tell you what to do when you're in a difficult situation. They won't have a reference point for anything else. And you won't be able to tell them otherwise, because they'll look at you the way we look at people that be like, back in my days, there was no internet. That's how they'll be looking at you. Kids that are 10, 11, 12, by the time they enter the workforce, AI will have been part of their life for literally for their entire conscious memory. They would never have written an essay without AI. They would never have coded a project without AI. They would never have solved a problem by sitting with it or struggling with it or figuring it out on their own. I'm starting to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I can imagine, and this is so scary, a future where intelligence becomes a class thing. The more money you have, the more intelligent you are, because that's where we're heading to. More money means you are more intelligent, you can afford better AI, you can afford the best models, you have the most tokens, the more powerful tools. And if you can't afford them, then you're just less intelligent. We would externalize intelligence into a product. And if you cannot pay for that product, then you're not intelligent. Can imagine a world where there are like charity drives to buy poor children access to intelligence. It looks like it's going to happen. Donate today so underprivileged kids can have intelligence access. I know it sounds like a joke, but it's not that far from where we are right now or where we are heading. Convince people that AI is essential. People stop developing their skills. People genuinely can't do things without AI. Then point to the fact that people can't do those things without AI and be like, hey, look at us. We gave you something that is so necessary. It's like if someone convinced you to stop walking because they invented a very, very good wheelchair. If you don't work for 5 years, they will look at you and point to your leg and say, look at that. We told you can't walk. You needed our wheelchair. And technically, at that point, they will be right. I don't want to live in that future, and I don't think we have to. The Pope recently published some article or letter, Magnifica Humanita something. Is basically about safeguarding the human person in the time of artificial intelligence. And the idea, this is crazy, the idea that we would create something with our own hands and then worship it as if it's greater than us. The fact that one of the oldest institutions in the world felt the need to say something about this should tell you something about where that conversation is headed. I want to be very clear. My camera is weird. I want to be very clear because I know how this sounds. I'm not anti-AI. I love technology. I study technology. I use AI every day. I use it at work. I use it for my content. I use it for coding. I use it for school. I use it for research. A lot of things. It's genuinely a useful and impressive tool. But there's a clear difference between, oh, this is a powerful tool that helps us to work, and hey, this is going to replace you. And the conversation keeps pushing us towards the second statement because that statement is more profitable. For me, at the end of the day, it is just a tool. It is a mind-blowing tool, just like every other mind-blowing human invention. The telephone is mind-blowing, the internet is mind-blowing, flights are mind-blowing, and this is also mind-blowing. But we are not going to treat it as something that is beyond humans because it is not. We made it. People made it. Human intelligence made it. AI is literally the product of human intelligence, and we're not going to use it to argue that human intelligence is obsolete. Honestly, I feel like this whole video is giving conspiracy theorists, but I'm just going to publish it anyways. I absolutely think everyone should use AI, but I think we should also think things through. We should keep our muzzles alive and be very skeptical of any narrative that tells you that you're incapable without a product. That's aggressive marketing, man. It's aggressive marketing. Every company that is selling AI to you has an incentive for you to believe that you need it to function and that you cannot function without it. So factor that into how you receive the messages coming out of these companies. You're raising kids, you're teaching students, make sure they learn to do things without AI. Let them struggle. It's why we are human beings. We struggle, but then we make really mind-blowing things out of our struggle. Let them use their intelligence. Let them learn. And please, let's start paying attention to the language that we use around AI. If I see anybody say it's going to replace, I'm going to lose my mind, because that is not possible. It cannot replace people. It cannot replace us. We are human beings, the highlight of creation. I don't think we ourselves understand how effective, how ridiculously crazy, absolutely crazy our intelligence is. It's not a subscription. It's not a utility. It's not something that can ever be replaced by a product. It is the thing that made the product possible in the first place. Oh my goodness, I'm getting too emotional. Bye.